Wow, this thing is massive. 208 inches long. Finally, Toyota has redesigned the Sequoia for 2023 model year. And quite frankly, this has been one of the most anticipated SUVs of the year. And finally, I have it on my channel. Thanks to Gettle Toyota of Charlotte County, Florida, for allowing me to film this vehicle for you. So that's what I'm going to do. Taking a complete tour of this vehicle, exterior, interior, technology. At the end of this video, I'm going to take you for a spin in it. But we're also going to try to answer the question. As you can see, it's huge, it's massive, it's shiny, it's beautiful. But is it practical? Well, we're going to find out. Guys, if this is the first time we meet, my name's Matt here on Matt the Carguy. I post 2 car reviews every single week. If automotive content is something you enjoy watching, do me a favor, check out the rest of my channel, consider subscribing, and now let's get back to this. Well, the Toyota Sequoia has been around for over 20 years now, and it's been a very popular choice between families for a large SUV, because that's basically what it is. It's a Japanese competitor to a vehicle such as Chevy Tahoe, GMC Yukon, Ford Expedition, so that's on the larger scale. Now, it finally gets redesigned because it's been around for a long time, and basically since 2011 till now, it really hasn't changed much. Now, that's changing right now. For 2023, this is all brand new, and it's still based on the Toyota Tundra. That's why you still have a lot of similarities with this pickup truck. So let's start right here. It does have this massive hood. I like the grooves over here that creates those raises on both sides. I-Force Max on the side, and what that means, that it is powered up by a hybrid engine. Yes, that produces, well, we'll get to the specifications of it, but I just want to mention that now it gets about 20 miles per gallon combined, which is a huge improvement over the previous generation one. Now, as far as the front end over here, again, same thing as on the Tundra. Different trim levels have different grills. Now, this is the Limited, which right now in Toyota's world, it's not the highest end trim. Above that, we still have the Platinum TRD Pro and the Capstone, which is the highest end model for this year's Sequoia. Now, I like this gunpowder metal finish on the inside of this grille. Of course, you have this huge Toyota logo. You do have the front view camera. That's where a lot of this Toyota Sense technology hides, right behind here, and it's all encased in this shiny chrome. Silver metallic on the outside, a little bit of a piano black right here. You do have a set of fog lights right here. One thing that I don't understand over here, well, this looks like almost a snowplow. I'm not sure what the functionality of this is. This is this plastic trim piece that I think if they put a skid plate or just left it open, it would have looked a little bit nicer, just to me at least. Now, you do have the LED lights over here. They're nice, they're bright. On the higher end trims, you will get the sequential turn signals. You don't get it on this Limited series model. And then right underneath here, this is not open. This is just basically a design trim piece, but this is. So better aerodynamics, better airflow throughout this vehicle. Now, if you want to find out what powers up this thing, let's take a look at this hybrid engine. Underneath the hood, this hybrid engine is an I-Force Max, and what that means, it's a 3.5-liter V6 twin turbocharged engine with hybrid system and electric motor generator producing 437 horsepower, 583 pound-feet of torque, made it to a Toyota's 10-speed automatic transmission. Huge improvement over the previous generation. As you remember, it was a V8 with, I believe, a 6-speed automatic transmission. So now the hood is supported by the hood struts on both sides. It does have some sound insulation underneath here, so we're going to find out how quiet it is while driving. I gotta tell you, I like the side view of this vehicle. It's definitely huge, it's massive. That's the way I like them, right? Now, I like the silver color on this particular one, especially in the combination with this gunpowder gray, which we've seen on the front grille. Now, it also has those trim pieces that go around the wheel wells, look really, really nice. As far as the wheel and tire setup, you have the 20-inch rims on this limited series model, and they're kind of two-tone. Again, you do have the silver and the gray powder metal. It fits really nice with this particular vehicle. Now, as far as the size of the tires, 265 by 60 on the 20-inch trim. They are Geolandar XCV tires, so they're all-season tires. Now you see the limited trim right underneath here. I-Force Max, that's basically an indication it is that hybrid motor that we have. And you do have a set of fixed running boards. Now if you go with the higher edge trims, you get the actually power foldable running boards on those. Now as far as the rest of this vehicle, look at this. This is all blacked out in the middle. Now the top portion is still the same color as the rest of the vehicle, but you do have this low profile roof rails over here, which you can of course make usable by providing crossbars to them. Now as far as the mirrors, top of the mirror, same color as the rest of the vehicle. You do have the LED turn signal, and the bottom is in this piano black. Now we do have a camera right underneath here. That means that this vehicle is actually equipped with a 360 view. We'll check it out. Blind spot assist right in the mirror, and you do have the smart entry system. Door handles are in chrome and the piano black, and the doors sound pretty good when closing. Now, tons of room. As you can see, big windows over here. We're going to check it out if it does have enough room for a large family, especially in the third row seat. But before we do that, let's see the storage space. I love the look of it in the back. Actually, these lights remind me of the new Lexus LX600. This is fully LED taillight setup. Now, these are not the sequential turn signals. That feature is reserved for the higher trim levels. And then what else do we have here? Now it's gate spoiler. Now you have this third brake light over here, exposed wiper. Now what's interesting about this, you can actually open this portion of the gate by itself. So you can open the glass if you want to just throw something in here and be done with it. Then you have a Toyota logo with this blue inlays over here and this trim piece connecting the both of the lights. Rear view camera. Now I'm looking for another rear view camera, see if there is one, to see if it does have that electronic mirror, but I don't see one, so we're going to check that out. You do have the Sequoia in chrome spelled out over here, and the bumper kind of doesn't extend much from the rest of this vehicle, and it is 208 inches long. Now if it was equipped with the tow hitch, it can tow this particular one, four-wheel drive, about 9,100 pounds. If it was a two-wheel drive, up to 9,500 pounds. The gate can be accessed several different ways. The easiest way is to kick your foot underneath, and it's going to sense it, it's going to open it up. As you can see, it opens nice and tall, but let's find out if we have any room in here. Walking up on here, that's where the disappointment sets in a little bit, and that's because you don't really have a ton of room in the back. Now, especially behind the third row seat. Now, I get it. This seat is all the way back, and it actually can be moved forward. So see, these seats, you can slide back and forth. Now, it opens it up a little bit, but that's at the cost of anybody that's sitting in that third row seat is not going to have enough room. And I'm going to definitely check out the third row seat to see how much room we have. But let's see what else we have. So we have the regular household outlet in here, and it says that's 400 watts, and that's a capability of it. It does have illumination in the back, and you can actually fold down the seats by using these power buttons over here. So it's a one-touch operation. Press the button, wait for the beep, and then the vehicle does the work for you. Now, as far as this thing right here, now this is interesting because it's a multi-tier design. So I guess depending on what you want and how you want it set up, you can actually maneuver this shelf to be in the 3 different positions. Okay, now this opens up as well, you know, kind of creating this bridge in between the seat and this portion right here. Now the seats need to be moved back for that in order to be functional, but see, you drop them like this, and then you have semi-flat surface. Now this is what kind of limits the functionality of this vehicle, because you'd have to lift stuff awfully high to throw it inside the back. So that's quite frankly a bit of a disappointment on this Toyota. But let's see, what else do we have? Nothing underneath here, and as you can see, this sits up higher, and that's, I was told, that's because a lot of all the batteries for the hybrid system are actually located right underneath there. So let's take a look at the third seat setup. So it looks like you have the manual sunshade over here, cup holders, and then you are able to recline the seats. That does have the power recliner over here. I want to check it out while sitting inside of them. So definitely I feel comfortable in this second row seat. I have plenty of knee room in front of me. Even with the front seat adjusted to my regular driving position, I am 6 feet tall for your reference, and I feel quite comfortable in here. I do have, I'd say, well, this much. How much is that? About 2.5, 3 inches of headroom above my head. Shoulder room is not an issue. And this seat, you know, the only way that is actually adjustable is the recliner. It doesn't move forward and back, which I kind of wish it did, because that can control the roominess that you have in the third row seat. The interior looks pretty cool. Let's check it out together, and then I'll jump in the third row seat. Let's get to the door panel. Check this out over here. A lot of soft touch materials. This is basically what they call the soft tex wrap over here, and that's what the seats are made of as well. So you do have the power window controls, a little bit of this piano black trim piece, polished aluminum trim piece over here. This is basically your grab handle, I think. Door handle up on top, and then there's a little bit of storage underneath here. You do have 2 speakers in the rear doors, but I'm not sure what brand they are. Toyota's been using JBL, so we're going to see in the front if that's the case with this particular one. You do have the manual sunshade over here, and I got to tell you, the running boards are a must for this vehicle for people to climb up here. Otherwise, it would be quite tall. So for the kids, it's perfect. Now, the seats are wrapped in this Toyota soft tex material, which kind of looks like leather, but it is a man-made material. And in the middle here, you have a console with the cup holders if 2 people are sitting here. But of course, you do have 3 seat belts in this middle row seat. Now, the higher end trims, I believe they have the captain chairs, so they're 7-seater configuration, but the Limited is an 8-seater. So you do have your climate control settings right in this middle console, as well as you have the power outlet and 2 USB ports. So you have the USB Type A and the USB Type C. In the backs of the seats, you also have some seat back storage, and then you have this little bump in the middle, but it's not huge. I think you can still make it if you were a third person sitting in here. But what I'm really the most interested in is the third row seats. So see what I just did? I just pushed the button and this seat opens up. That allows me to get inside of here. So I'm going to unfold those seats, jump in there, and I'll let you know how I feel. All right, let's see how easy it is to get in the third row seat. And quite frankly, it's very easy because this creates an opening that's large, that's enough for anybody to get in. But as you can see, I'm 6 feet tall, and getting in, I'm almost touching my head to this roofline. And that's because the seats I raised up. There's batteries underneath here, so they had to raise this up, that reducing the headroom for the third row seat passengers. Well, it doesn't have a lot of knee room either. If I wanted to actually push this seat and actually get it all the way up, well, I have enough to travel for short distances, and that is more than on my Pilot, but quite frankly, not by much. And, you know, this roominess, that's what would be concerned for me, kind of feel enclosed. So the third row seat, well, fairly disappointing, to be honest with you. And one more time, let's check out the sound of the closing door. Boom. And that is nice, it's solid, Beautiful, no complaints there. Front door panel, it does have the window mirror lock controls. It does have the folding mirror buttons over here, as well as the 2 memory seat settings. Now, again, this is not top of the line, so I'm actually impressed that Toyota actually put that in. Now, a lot of soft touch materials, just like in the back, and a lot more storage at the bottom of the door than in the front. Nothing too crazy on the door sill. There's no Sequoia or anything like this. Now you do have the power seats for both driver and passenger with several different adjustments, and we'll see how comfortable they are while driving. Now, what controls we have over here, because there's plenty of buttons. So it looks like this is for the light, this is for the automatic lights. Now you have the gas tank release, dimmer, odometer, trip. Now this is the parking sensor. You can turn those off. You can turn on the heated steering wheel, and then you can adjust the lights. So this is pretty cool, because if you're towing something and everybody's like flashing brights at you saying that, hey, you're blinding me up, you can actually lower them a little bit for a better adjustment. Or if you have a full payload, that's the same thing. Now you can turn on and off that AC 120 volt outlet, and then let's jump inside. Let's see what else we have. Well, this is the interior on this 2023 Toyota Sequoia Limited trim level. Actually, I like it. It looks just like the Tundra, and I really like the Tundra, so no wonder that I do like this one as well. Now, let's hit that power button over here. That's what Toyota calls it. And then you have this animation, says Sequoia iForce Max, and you have a fully digital display. But we'll get to it in just a second. You also have this huge Toyota 14-inch screen. I've been so impressed with it so far as the jump that they did from the previous generation one to this. And I know that I was complaining about the Toyota technology for a while. Now they're really making strides. Huge improvements over the last year's ones. So big steering wheel. It is a big truck, right? It is leather wrapped. It does have buttons on both sides of the steering wheel. So let's see, we have the volume button, voice control button, you have the select button, and the phone button, as well as the back button over here. So that probably controls what's going on over in front of you. Now on this side, you have the cruise control button. You have the resume, set, cancel. So that's for the cruise control. You also can adjust the distance between you and the car in front of you. And these are your different modes for the radio. And then you can select the different stations as well. So Toyota logo right in the middle. And then you have this fully digital instrument cluster. And let's see what kind of customization we have. First of all, I like this. You do have the RPMs right on top, so kind of sporty. And then you have the speed displayed right in the middle. So right over here, you have distance to empty, 103 miles, total average 5.7 miles per gallon. That's usually the case with the brand new vehicles. They've been sitting idling, people were showing them, checking them out, etc. So this is not the true measure of the miles per gallon. Now you do have the iForce and Max, so that's your battery and the turbo gauges over there. And then the engine just turned off, so we're running on battery right now. And then you have the battery charge, as well as the temperature of the oil, temperature of the coolant, and the gas gauge at the bottom. So what can we customize over here? Let's see. Start pressing buttons. That's going to change, right? So now we have the eco mode, and then we can go side to side like on the previous Toyota. So you can see on the left hand side we're changing. Apple Music, you have no trailer selected. These are your settings basically for your safety features over here. So you can turn these on. Those are like toggle switches. You can turn this like a blind spot monitoring right now. I turn this on. You can turn this off. Parking sensors, rear cross traffic alert, on or off. You know, customize right side. Let's do that. Hey, come on. I want to customize right side. Okay, so now we have the boost gauges, but if I wanted to have pitch and roll, see how it changes over here. And then I can have tow gauges. Actually, I like the pitch and roll. Or we can turn it off completely. So trailer settings, if you had the trailer, and actually put the settings, select or add the trailer, you can do that. As this vehicle can tow, you know, 90, 100 pounds, so it can tow a pretty large trailer. And then what else we have? Alerts, messages, you know, no messages right now. So basically this is the customizable side. And you can also select certain features on the right hand side. Pretty cool. Actually, it's simple. There's not a ton of customization, but just enough. And this 14-inch screen. Now, this is the first time when you're using it, and again, you know, I have a different frame rate on my camera than the screen, so that's why it's blinking. It's in reality, it's not. English, we're going to cancel that. I don't want to put my phone number in here. Yes, we want to cancel setup, but what's pretty cool, now I do have my Android Auto connected to it wirelessly. So you can see that real screen, Android Auto takes up the entire screen basically. You can go to Maps, and you know, because Toyota has the subscription-based maps. And then we can go back to the Toyota. I just wanted to show you that this does have the Android Auto and that it is wireless. So in order to get out of it, we're going to the Toyota menu. So Navigation Reimagined, you have to subscribe to it. So, I mean, it's paid, but like I said, you have the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, that's all wireless, so that's pretty cool. And then as far as the music, here's your different sources for music. Amazon Music, radio. And as far as the radio, you have the AM, FM, Sirius XM, and those are your choices. Plus, of course, you can play Apple Music, Amazon Music, music from your phone. You know, right now we have this connected. And then let's go back here, and then you have your vehicle settings, trip information. So here, that just tells you 0 miles per hour, history, really no history here, because like I said, the vehicle has been sitting. We're going to clear that data, and then hopefully once I drive it, it's going to change to something. So really no history here. As far as the settings, right now I'm a guest, but you can customize it. You can put your personal information. Bluetooth devices, that's self-explanatory. My phone is actually connected to it right now. You go back to the general settings, date, time, keyboard, language, and units, set automatically based on regional location. This is pretty cool. It's going to be in US, it's going to be in miles per gallon, but if you wanted to go to kilometers per liter or liters per 100, that's probably the most common one as far as the rest of the world. And now you can actually customize that. So we're going to leave it in miles, or we're going to leave it actually set automatically, which is what it was before. Now going back to different settings, what can we change on display? Screen, that's basically automatic mode, brightness, contrast, camera. Same thing as far as the camera screen, different colors, brightness, contrast. We'll go back to settings. Let's see what else we have. Software update, dealer info, vehicle customize, lights, auto on, door control, auto lock, boarding and exit, seat slide full, which is a pretty cool feature. The seat will slide back in order for you to get in or get out easier. So there is some customization. It's definitely better what it was before. And I want to show you also the rear view camera. Let's put it in reverse. So you do have a 360 camera. You have several different angles, as you can see right at the bottom. The camera resolution is nice. There's nothing to complain about it here. It does have the active trajectory, and they go both for the top trajectory and the rear trajectory over here. That's really important because, especially with a vehicle this size, you need to know that you're not going to hit something with the front end while backing up. So this is the rear view camera. We also have the front camera, the side camera, okay, the side from the front, side from the back, and then we have the guides, which we can have different types of guides. Like right now they changed, they give you the right trajectory where you need to go, and then you have the auto camera, and this takes up the entire screen basically, so that's without the 360. And this is pretty cool, right? I like the camera system. That's awesome. What else do we have? Scrolling down below the screen, I like how rugged these knobs are. They're large, they're easy to operate, and then you have a bunch of shortcut buttons for your climate control right on top, and then you have the heated seats, ventilated seats, and again, shortcut buttons for your climate control, and then you have the heated and ventilated seats for your passenger as well. USB port down. You have the camera view. This is a 360. So it kind of gives you that 360 view of your vehicle. And you can select around the vehicle, so that kind of gives you a quick scan around the vehicle where you're at. You can turn off your traction control off, hazard lights. Now, this one doesn't have the charging, but I know it's part of a package that you can buy for the wireless charging. And then you have the brake hold, parking brake, and then this is your gear shifter, a large gear shifter like we've seen on the Tundra, basically the same thing. Nice with the sport mode, so you can actually change the gears manually. You also have the two-wheel drive high, four-wheel drive high, and four low, and you can change that, you know, with pushing this and switching it to, let's say, four-wheel drive high. And we don't need that, so we're going to leave it in the two-wheel drive. Different drive modes. Okay, so let's see what we have. I'm going to actually show you that on the screen. There's 3 different drive modes, and what we have right now is normal, sport, and eco mode, and it doesn't really change the display any. I'm going to put it in sport mode. I like to test out the vehicles in this mode for some reason, and that disappears after, you know, a second or two. Then you have the tow and haul mode. Not sure exactly what that does, but I have a feeling it's got something to do with the different transmission settings. And then you have the cup holders, a pretty nice trim piece over here, and then you have tons of storage over here. You can actually open just this little portion up if you want to just throw your wallet in, or you can open this, slide this open, or you can open this entire thing. So several different ways to control it. There's different compartments over here, USB, USB-C port, and then more storage down below. So as far as the mirror, I know that on the higher end trims, you're going to get this digital mirror that turns this into the monitor. You don't have it on the limited trim, at least not standard. This vehicle, by the way, guys, this one has no factory added equipment whatsoever. So this is standard limited version of this. Now you have the light controls, the way that they operate, and you can also open and close your sunroof. It's a regular size sunroof, nothing too crazy about it. It's not panoramic or anything like this. And then you can also open your gate here, and then you can also tilt the sunroof. So you can slide it or you can tilt it. Now we have the illuminated mirrors on the driver's side, and then the passenger side. Well, this vehicle is huge. I can barely reach on the other side. And a nice size windshield. Okay, this is hard plastic. You don't have the head-up display. You have the nice grab handles on the sides. And overall, it is a very cool looking interior of this vehicle. But it looks cool. Let's see how it drives. Before we take it on the road, let's check out different trim levels that are available for this year's Sequoia. So it's a big year for Toyota. They're redesigning their big trucks. They just did a year ago a Venza and the Sienna. Now they have the Sequoia and the Tundra. So the 2023 Sequoia actually starts at $58,300 according to Toyota website. And that is for the base trim level. So what trim levels are available? Let's see. So the SR5 is the first trim level that's available, and with the two-wheel drive, its starting MSRP is $58,300. Limited, which is the one that we're sitting in right now, it's $64,700. That's with the two-wheel drive. Then Platinum, $70,900. TRD Pro at $76,000, and the Big Daddy $78,300 for the Capstone edition. Now the Capstone is like the most luxurious trim that there is, and well, no wonder it starts at $78,300. Now the one that I'm sitting in right now, it's $64,700 with the Destination and with the four-wheel drive, because four-wheel drive is actually $67,700, and the Destination charge, the MSRP on this particular one is $69,195. Now, like I told you, this vehicle has been pre-sold before. Now somebody changed their mind, so it is available in their inventory, but I'm not sure what the selling price will be. That's why you need to call the dealer and find out. I'm here to drive it, so let's take a look. Let's drive it, adjust the seat a little bit here. That's good. And what I like to do is actually do a full circle to see how this vehicle turns. I don't have a marked parking spots over here or anything like this, but just by feel of it, I'll know. Actually, it turns pretty good. There's no complaints here. This is this open space. So with a large truck, we can always expect some body roll. So let's see if we can see how this vehicle handles, you know, just that. Because a lot of people are concerned, you know, getting into a large vehicle and then not having enough control over here. Also, this is an open parking spot. Let's hit it. You know, it's very quick for the weight of this vehicle. You know, I believe 5,800 pounds or so is the weight on it. It's very quick. Now, this powerful engine not only provides you with 437 horsepower, but also 583 pound-feet of torque, which is very powerful engine. And this is a V6 twin turbocharged. Pretty cool. Now, it's been rated 0 to 60 at about 5.6 seconds, so it is quick, especially for this huge of a vehicle. How do I feel in this vehicle? Well, you know, I gotta tell you, I feel like I sit on top of the world. You sit up really high, and I like it. You know, some people might not, but to me, that's a huge plus. The seats are super comfortable. They're wide. They're, you know, the Softex material is really nice and soft. Steering wheel is just the right size to the touch. I like how big the windshield is. No complaints there. Side windows are big. Mirrors are big. That adds to the visibility of this vehicle. Now, again, just like we've seen on the Tundra, this camera is set up when you are taking off. The front view camera will kick on the screen. You can turn it off in the settings if you don't like it, but you know, that helps you with seeing off which direction you're going, if there's anything in front of you. Just because this vehicle is so tall, it definitely helps into the visibility. Well, like I said, the drive is really nice. You know, there's a lot of features that I really do like about this vehicle. You know, I like the size of it. I like the look of it. I love the technology that they put in it. I love that they put this hybrid system, and, you know, 20 miles per gallon, even though it might not seem like a huge number, it is huge if you consider the size and weight of this vehicle. So, I mean, definitely a huge improvement over the previous generation one. Where I think that Toyota fell short is definitely the roominess in the back. I mean, that was quite disappointing looking at it and hoping to have a lot more than I do on my Honda Pilot, but actually that didn't deliver. So, you know, the seats also don't fold flat in the floor because the batteries are right underneath them, so they're kind of sticking out. Even with the seats folded down, the usefulness of that space is quite limited because they're so much higher. So even if you wanted to throw something in there, you'd have to lift it up quite a bit. Now, I do like it that they have this power seat folding feature, and you know, the roominess in the third row seat is not that much greater than on the midsize SUV. It's not that much greater than on the Highlander, than on Pilot, Telluride, and such. And you know, this vehicle is quite a bit more. Now, it is more of a truck than any of those mentioned before. It's body on frame. You know, it does have a different handling. You feel a little bit more muscular, if you will, when you drive it. So definitely there's some pluses for that. And you know, not to take away too much from Toyota, but they did a really nice job redesigning it. So let's turn it around. I'm going to stop it for a second here, see what kind of pickup and acceleration we can do over here. So stop and go. And here we go, we got 60 miles per hour, so definitely a quick vehicle. Like I said, I think it's been measured at about 5.6 or so. And you know, it doesn't seem like this vehicle, like the engine is struggling to get there. It's a pretty solid acceleration, so no complaints there. Noise-wise, I mean, it's a fairly quiet cabin. We've seen that noise insulation underneath the hood. That definitely does its job. There is a little bit of hum coming in from the road. It's coming in from the tires, but not, you know, something that would bother me even on the longer drives. And the ride, the feel of this is pretty nice. It's definitely different than what you'll see in the midsize SUVs that are the unibody construction. It feels definitely a little bit more trucky, which, you know, in my case, that's a good thing. Some people might like it, some people might not. So that's definitely a personal preference on that. But overall, it's a solid improvement over the previous generation Sequoia. I mean, the biggest improvement is in the engine and the powertrain and the technology. Definitely, that's what it is. I mean, we have, you know, went from basically 17, a lot of people didn't even get 17 miles per gallon on the previous generation one, to 20. It went from the V8 to a V6 twin turbocharged hybrid power plant with 10-speed automatic transmission, so that made a huge difference. The technology is definitely great. I think if they had a way of working something out as far as this roominess in the back, this would be the perfect large SUV for the family. Now, still, guys, if you are thinking about it, don't just take my word for it. Go to a dealership, check it out yourself. You know, this one, at the time of this filming, and that's probably going to be up on the YouTube in a couple days. So as the time of this filming, this vehicle is available for sale at Gettle Toyota of Charlotte County in Punta Gorda, Florida. And I'm going to put their link and the phone number in the description of this video, so you can give them a call, check it out, see what they're asking for it, and hopefully make a deal on it. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something. If you did, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up button by the video, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, go ahead and click that subscribe button as well. I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.